Thank you, Sally. It's so important. On our Chuffed account, we have raised $1,947. We also have a donation from the PSA for $500, and we also had a generous donation for $1,000 from the Asbestos Disease Foundation of Australia. So fantastic. So please come over, buy a hand, join our chain. Don't be shy. We need you. Okay, and our third and last speaker before we form our human solidarity chain is MUA National Women's Officer and Federal Vice President of the ALP, Mich-Elle Myers.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks everyone for coming. Firstly, I want to acknowledge that we are on Wadi Wadi land on the Dharawal Nation. This land was never ceded. The struggle for First Nations justice is intrinsically linked to equality. It is something that I've committed to for a long time, and we will continue to walk with our First Nations brothers and sisters to achieve their goals, including Voice Treaty Truth and the full implementation of the Uluru Statement from the Heart. Today, it's hard to talk about this topic today, it really is. The things that have been going on in our nation's parliament are indicative of a country or a government that has no respect for women. So while we're out here in a mall fighting for these beautiful services, the Illawarra Health Centre and the Nowra Homelessness Hub, we shouldn't have to. These should be fully government-funded services. They shouldn't have their funding ripped away from them. If we had a government that really cared about women's safety, respect for women, and reducing violence against women, instead of just saying we're on our 4th national plan for domestic violence, these services will be fully funded. So you reach out today if you can get on our Chuffed account and donate if you can, because unfortunately we have to fundraise for these services. What I want to say about, we're up to 40 women have been killed this year so far in Australia at the hands of a partner or former partner. Just last weekend in Southport, another one has been killed. This is a tragedy. This is a disgrace, and we should all be ashamed that this is happening in our country. We're a wealthy nation. We should be able to keep women safe. Now, this stems back, in my mind, to respect. And if we don't have respect in the highest workplace in the country, on the hill down there in Canberra, in Parliament House, then I don't know how we're going to get respect. They are on, as I said, their 4th national plan to reduce violence against women. I'm not sure I've seen any improvement. Have anyone here? No. It's unbelievable. They're on their 4th report. I don't know where Gatchen's report happened after the Brittany Higgins incident down there. I want to pay tribute to Brittany for speaking out. She has given voice to so many people, and so many women have come forward because of her courage. And of course, Australian of the Year Grace Tame has done an extraordinary job in highlighting these stories to help people come forward. They released a report this week that said 1 in 3 women in Parliament House have been sexually harassed. 1 in 3 in Parliament House have been sexually harassed. There was a Respect at Work report a year and a half ago that the government decided not to implement the 55 recommendations of. They chose some of them, said, oh yeah, we can do those. But one of those recommendations is the ILO the ILO instrument C190, and now that is violence and harassment in the world of work. That was adopted 2 years ago. Michaela Cash was at that meeting in Geneva and voted for that convention, and this federal government hasn't implemented it. 2 years later, it's well past. After 18 months they're supposed to implement these instruments. It's violence and harassment in the world of work. What is hard about that? They voted for it. So they need to implement that. They need to implement all of the recommendations of the Respect at Work report. They need to have a look deep into Kate Jenkins' report this week and implement those recommendations. They need to implement 10 days paid domestic violence leave, or they just aren't even trying. What I think is we need a new government. We need someone that's going to stand up for the women of this country. The women of this country just got to remember how angry we were a year and a half ago when we marched on the lawns of Parliament House. We're angry because there is no respect from the highest government, the highest workplace in our land There's no respect, and we need a government that is going to implement 10 days paid domestic violence leave for all workers. It's that simple. And implement the ILO Convention C-190, violence and harassment in the world of work. Nothing less than that is my demand, is absolutely critical. We must have this now. We won't wait any longer. We can't wait. Women can't wait any longer for paid domestic violence leave. It's that simple. Thanks.
Thank you, Mish. Okay, she's 100% right. We won't wait. We can't wait. The women of Australia just can't wait. So please, can I have everybody coming over here if you want to join our human solidarity chain in support of women who are trying to flee family and domestic violence. Please come over. We want to raise awareness about the 5 unpaid days that are in the National Employment Standards. We want to increase that to 10 paid leave days, family and domestic violence leave days, that will at least give people who are victims of, and I don't like calling them victims, but people who are survivors of family and domestic violence, at least a pathway through their workplace to get support and help that they need to break this cycle. Please, the women of Australia cannot wait. We cannot wait. Come on over and join our chain. Please come over. Anybody.